Guys, welcome back to another video. I'm here today to show you part 2 of my OC's lore and backstory to see where that picture came from, and maybe even this one. I have spent a lot of time and care to make this for you guys. Grab your movie snacks and drinks, grab your blankets and family and friends, and have an awesome time listening. Enjoy! The candlelight flickered and danced as Dusk dared to write a novel of what she'd seen. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, she thought, and caught herself. I need myself to be there, and now. Pain was still sneaking through her head and into her mind. She hadn't even taken off her bandana-like piece of long fabric. Her letters were wobbly and crooked as she wrote and shivered. Not from the cold, though. The vision. Even if she did or didn't die in the vision, it was still a possibility for Thorn to die. She gasped as she realized she didn't know exactly when, but she knew it was going to be soon. It's taking forever. Wait. Done. 4.5 pages of writing, maybe more, in small letters, in as much detail as she possibly can. She could not wait for the ink to dry. She blew a small burst of flame over it to dry faster. She frantically searched around. There! She grabbed a small leather bag. She grabbed a small leather bag had made with her father. She rolled the papers up together and stuffed them in the bag. She started for the door. Uh-oh. The door opened. Her mother looked down her snout and scowled at her. What in the 3 bright moons are you doing? Her mother asked. Dusk looked over at the door past her mother. She wants an answer, Dusk thought. I'm gonna hunt for dinner, but I'm not bringing you any of it, Dusk thought. Her mother gave her a wholehearted glare as if she could read minds herself. What's in the bag? Her mother snapped. Oh no. An essay about desert animals for an old dragon who sells leather things like armor and bags and other stuff, Dusk said. I need to go now. What if... Dusk stepped back slowly until she could reach her shelf. Her mother opened her mouth to snap something at her. Now, here's my chance, she thought. She grabbed a glass cup from the top of her shelf and threw it as hard as she could, right next to her door. Her mother jumped back and snarled as the glass danced and sparkled on the wooden floor. Dusk jumped over the glass and past her mother. She could hear her roars as she fled into the starry, sunset, peach and plum and many-colored sky. As the scorpion den left her, she flew on in the direction that should be the Sandwing Palace and the home of Queen Thorn. The time had shifted since she left. It was now nearly dawn. It's only been around half an hour to an hour left till she... It had only been an hour to half an hour till she reached the borders of the palace. Last night I had the right idea. I need to hunt something, she thought. She was so focused on flying and getting to the palace that she hadn't realized how hungry she was. Aha! There. She saw directly 4 camels and a scavenger. Whatever. She extended out her talons and dove as fast as she could and aimed for 2 camels at once. All of a sudden, she extended her wings and dug her claws into the first camel's neck as the scavenger screamed. The camel flopped on the floor, as did the same for the other one. She did not care for the other 2. They were long gone anyways, and she flew on for at least half an hour. There it is. I made it. stronghold of Her Majesty, Queen Thorn. There was just a small, faint silhouette of the stronghold, almost exactly in front of her nose. When she finished eating her camel, she beat her wings and lifted off into the sky. It was now almost noon. There lay a stronghold not even a mile away from her. Even if the attack happened tonight, she had to rest. She had not gotten any sleep in the last at least 24 hours. She scanned the sandy earth below her. She landed right next to a dune tall enough to burrow under. When she woke up, she was still very much tired, but she needed to talk to Queen Thorn more than she needed to sleep at the moment. She tilted her head up as she felt the breeze, and a new thin layer of sand covered the empty hole, making it a little bit smaller. I shouldn't fly any longer, she thought with a sigh. I'm too close, and I might alert the guards. She started to walk at a trotting speed. She was starting to plan what she would do once she got to the stronghold. 1. Somehow get past the guards. 2. See if I can talk to Thorn or her and her advisors. Or council, or whatever. 3. Either read her the vision or give it to her to read. 4. See if she listens to me, and if not, come up with a different plan. 5. Stop the bad guy. Shackle. 6. No one can be harmed. By the time she was done figuring out her plan, she was only a few feet away from the entrance. Introduce yourself, said the first guard. Dusk stepped forward until she was face to face with the guard. I'm Dusk. I'm not a sandwing nor nightwing. I'm a hybrid of both. I would like to talk to Her Majesty Queen Thorn, she said to the guard confidently. The guards looked at each other. The entrance door squeaked as the first guard went into the stronghold. We sent word to the queen. She will see you soon, but don't try anything, said the second guard. As the guards escorted her to the throne room, she had the idea of what to say. She gasped. There before her was Queen Thorn. She looked more queenly than I expected, Dusk thought. Dusk bowed to Queen Thorn and stood up. Hello, Your Majesty, she said. I've come to you about a great danger. Queen Thorn looked at her. And what's that? She asked. Dusk scrambled for her writing. I've had a vision, and before you ask, I am a sandwing nightwing hybrid. And no, I don't read minds, Dusk said, handing the writing to her. Queen Thorn made many different expressions for a few awkward minutes of silence. By the time she was done reading, she had many different expressions like confused, bewildered, mad, and many others. She turned to Dusk. Can you tell me more about this jackal? She asked as she handed off the writing to a general to read, or an advisor or council member or someone. Dusk thought hard. Can I write it on a piece of paper? Thorn looked at a guard, which Dusk thought meant, you heard her, go get some paper. And Dusk started to write as in much detail as possible. Light brownish tan color. A little darker tan color over eyes, wings, barbed tail, and some other places. Dark brown eyes, around 90% black. Looks and sounds pretty sly. Convincing. Dusk could hear Thorn and the guards talking. I'll have a few dragons copy her writing, and all the guards will read her description of this conniving dragon. Thorn hissed as she finished her sentence. Talons of power, some of them whispered several times. Dusk knew that the leader of the Talons of Power was a frog-toed and camel-spit snake, Thorn had described. She never saw them before, though. They were a gang led by a grandfather of some sort of advisor or council or member of Queen Thorn named Kidley. As around 5 or 6 dragons came in to copy her work, Thorn called over Dusk. So Thorn, Dusk, her advisors, a general, and some guards could all talk to each other. Thorn was by a near table with several different random things like snacks, flowers, writing, letters, and other stuff sprawled over it. Thorn had them all listen carefully to her instructions. You will all read a description of a dragon Dusk wrote, Thorn said, gesturing to Dusk. If anyone similar is matched with it, you will immediately ask their name. If their name's Jackal, you have my permission to lock him in the dungeon. If you can't do that, you also have my permission to kill him. Anybody else familiar to the description, if you don't know them, bring them to me. Do you understand? She said, looking them in the eyes. Yes, they all said. Spread the word to as many dragons in the palace, whether guard, visitor, royal, messenger, or other. When word was sent out to all over the palace, it was almost real Dusk itself. Queen Thorn wanted Dusk to be there just in case. She had a room. Her bed was actually comfortable. She had a small table, some books, a shelf for her bag and red bandana, cloth neck thing, anything else. She kept the original writing of her vision, so if she needed one, she'd have it. She brought a freshly hunted desert animal carcass thing. She was thankful for it. She forgot again how hungry she was. She sighed and wondered what her mother was doing after she fled the house. She wasn't just grumpy because my father had died. It was because he died, and she had to live in the Sandwing Scorpion Den, and she had to live with me, Dusk thought. She remembered almost every single story her mother had told her before she grew cold and unprotective. Dusk did not care. It's not like she wanted her mother to care. Did she want her mother to care, though? Whatever. It didn't matter right now. She closed her eyes, and dreams and darkness came for her. Starlight, night sky, shining stars and moonlight, clouds, gray and blue. Something bad will happen to you. One star, so bright, stands out in the night sky. Turning eyes, sharp claws, they don't have any flaws. Who will wear a crown? Who will seek vengeance way down? This new hole's very deep. You must look down, then you'll see. Some dragons can't be trusted, some dragons look new, but in the end, it all depends on you, and it all depends on your point of view. Dusk startled awake, breathing fast, heart faster. What in the 3 holy moons was that? She stopped. Dusk knew exactly what that was. It was a prophecy. Dusk thought it was maybe a little over midnight, or it just was midnight. Of course, because my prophecy just happened. That was ridiculous, but maybe it was true. Dusk did not get back to sleep that night. Okay, I'm sorry I have to make a part 3, or you will be here for an hour and a half. Okay, I know, but part 3 will be so exciting, plus new art. Also, if I got anything wrong, like dates, names, titles, or anything else, blah, 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 I'm sorry, I am not Toby T. Sutherland, thank you very much. And I definitely want to write more OC's backstories, or you could tell me your OCs, and I will create a backstory for them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Love you all. Bye!